Hi there, Zamir for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 4, The Big Week. And that big week is West Ham versus Richmond. Whoever wins this game will top Manchester City, that is, off the top of the league and be top of the league themselves. Hence the big week. Now, Richmond were flying in the previous season, so it was kind of obvious that this would be the episode where their momentum kind of gets derailed to a degree, and that was the case with this episode. We see West Ham play Richmond. Richmond are 2-0 down in the first half. 2 goals scored very quickly just before half time. So when the players have to go back out for the second half, the coaching staff, minus Ted Lasso, because he's too busy talking to Rebecca about something, decides to show video footage of Nathan when he was at Richmond ripping up the Believe sign. Now this pisses off the Richmond players, and they're really pumped up. But when they go out on the pitch, they end up playing really dirty, doing leg breaking challenges, which means a lot of the players got sent off. But by the time the match ended, I think Richmond only had like 8 players left, and they lost 4-1. Obviously, Zava scoring for Richmond. Kind of surprising when you're to only concede 2 goals in the second half, considering you've got half a football team. But nevertheless, the plan didn't work out. But Ted Lasso himself, he's a very easygoing manager. Even though the coaching staff are expected to be shouted at by Ted, Ted is not doing that. He's just saying, "All right, you learnt from this ordeal. We try again next time. There's a lot of the season to go, to come." And considering Richmond themselves were, in the championship the previous season, and almost top of the league this season, they shouldn't be too hard on themselves. In football, what they've already achieved is remarkable, and they should be kind of happy with where they are so far as a club. Nevertheless, there's other things intertwining. Ted Lasso himself, he doesn't want to be a fuck buddy anymore to Sassy. He wants to have a relationship with her, but Sassy tells him he's a mess. So he's trying to sort his life out now, understand why he's a mess. He talks to the Diamond Dogs. Woo, 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 woo. They give him some advice, of course. But at the end of the day, it's really him having to resolve his issues with his ex-wife. Because he kind of realizes that his ex-wife might have been playing away from home while they were married with the marriage counsellor. And he's a little bit pissed off about that. And he also reminds his ex-wife that regardless of us being apart and we're not together anymore, I still love you. And we do have a son together. And that son will keep us together in some capacity for the rest of our lives. But he'll grow up. He'll probably have children of his own, which means that we'll both be grandkids. Some great stuff. Some great stuff there. And that was also food for thought for Ted Lasso's partner as well. I mean, we do see the episode end with the camera focusing on her with a little wry smile on her face. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of this Ted Lasso ex-wife subplot. I personally want to move on from that and maybe focus on him maybe trying to fall in love again with somebody else. But fair enough, I do understand he has got a kid as well, so I can understand them respecting all of that by sticking with this particular storyline. So we also have Roy and Jamie going through their trainings. Roy is doing 4 o'clock in the morning training with Jamie. Jamie initially thought that Roy was just talking and not really meaning 4 a.m. training, but he does. Roy definitely means this. Jamie's not used to this, but the reason why they're training at 4 a.m. is so Jamie can get 3 training sessions done a day, and he does want to be better than Zava, and this is the way to do it. Eventually, Jamie does get more prepared for these training sessions, which shows that he's on the right path. Keely meets her benefactor, the person investing into Banter, happens to be a woman also called who has a male name. Her name is Jack. There's a funny moment when she first meets Jack in the toilets and with tampons and stuff like that. Absolutely hilarious. But my favorite moment in this episode is to do with Danny. Danny is asked by Cindy, who is promoting Banter, "Who's your oldest friend?" And Danny says, "My oldest friend is Javier. He's 108 years old. I've known him for 2 weeks." Oh my god, that is so funny. I love it. Talk about lost in translation right there. Absolutely brilliant. And Rupert, that sly dog, he's still playing away from home. I mean, the guy's no spring chicken anymore. He's got a beautiful wife. He's now a father to a daughter, yet he still can't keep his hands to himself. and he's fucking around with the PA. And Rebecca sees this and reminds him, sort your shit out. This is what you're doing is wrong. You have a daughter. Don't be an embarrassment to her. And we'll see if Rupert takes heed of that, because he's definitely the villain of this. Nathan as well, as much as he's changed as a person, he was very happy that West Ham won, but prior to that he does go to the restaurant where the Greek restaurant where he was trying to get the lovely young lady who works there to notice him. But now he's famous, he's hoping that she would notice him, but she obviously doesn't watch football because she still doesn't recognize who he is. But the manager does. And the manager gives Nathan the food for free, but there are moments where Nathan becomes the old Nathan, even though he's a lot more confident now and he's obviously a great football manager. He still ends up being like the Nathan from season 1, a bit bumbling, a bit clumsy, opens the door by trying to open the door by pulling it when he should push it, and vice versa when he's coming in from the other direction, rushing off very quickly because he's just trying to stop any more embarrassment. It was some very good moments. There's some excellent scenes in this episode of all types. I can't really go through all of them, but yeah, hopefully what I have gone through was sufficient. Excellent episode. This show is really good, and it's no longer trying to be laugh out loud funny all the time. It just there's a warmth to it as well, but it almost feels like at times it almost feels like this could be a family show, but then you get the F-bombs and stuff like that, and the shagging and Keely trying to stick a tampon, with spread eagled in the toilet and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong in sticking a tampon in you, by the way. I mean, regardless of how you want to look at that, I just thought the way she did it was a bit weird, a bit funny. Anyway, before I start digging myself a hole regarding that and people having different opinions on that, I'm going to end this review by saying that I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. I love it. Can't wait for next week. I look forward to it. Really good show, really good season. Love the culture clash. Fish out of water, all of these sort of things. These are some of my favourite things when it comes to entertainment. But let me know what you think of this particular episode. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye-bye.